I just love it so freaking much is the problem. If this was an abstract challenge,
Nailed. Out of the park.
yeah.
Yeah, home run.
Hey guys, welcome back to Talk Parlor number 13's episode number 2. I'm Adam,
And I'm Jordan.
and we're going to discuss last week's Roll for Art Flash Challenge.
Yeah.
And what was that challenge, Jordan?
Well, for that challenge, we had to do an eye in realism and colored pencils and a warm color palette. So it was pretty interesting that we got colored pencils back to back. And then, the warm color palette and the eye. I was very excited whenever we rolled this.
Oh, you were very excited. I, on the other hand, was terrified.
Yeah.
Why was I terrified? Well, let's start here. Jordan used to draw eyeballs all the time for fun.
Used to draw them all the time. And I have a lot to relearn again. I'm not unhappy with it. I'm just not as happy as I could be with it. And I just know that if I did graphite pencils with this, it would be so much different.
Well, I was terrified because I don't draw eyeballs.
Yeah.
It has always been something that I have struggled with. Even back when I was, doing art consistently in high school and stuff. Eyeballs are something that if the proportions are not right, they're never going to look right.
Yeah, it's not going to look like an eyeball.
It's like, it has to be proportionally correct.
Yeah.
So when we initially rolled this challenge, I, without fail was like, oh, well, you immediately won this challenge because I can't draw an eyeball to save my soul. But I will be honest, we'll discuss it, but I am so happy with what I did.
It's so awesome. It is awesome. I really, really love it.
But with that being said, what did you think when we rolled the dice and this is what we got?
So I was really excited, and then like I mentioned, I was kind of looking forward to, but a little worried that it was colored pencils again. And I was really, really excited that it was realism, because I love realism. Go ahead.
I guess we should also input that this is kind of where we
Exactly
instated a rule. And
yes.
When we went into this, we really did not have any rules because it was what the dice land on is what
completely
we're gonna draw.
Randomized. Yeah. So what we're doing is it's still completely randomized, but we have implanted a 3-week rule.
Yep.
So on the 4th week, everything resets. So for example, we cannot do an eye, colored pencils, warm color palette, and realism again for another 3 weeks, okay? That way we're pushing out more variety, different things, and using everything on our sheets. Because as you've already seen, it's easy to re-roll things over and over again.
Yep.
And we just don't want to run into that problem. A 3rd week of colored pencils, we don't want to get burnt out if we had to do colored pencils again after this. If we had to do an eye again, we don't want to get burnt out on doing eyes.
Not to mention it gets expensive replacing colored pencils.
It gets expensive replacing colored pencils. So that's where we came up with this rule, just to ensure things are still completely randomized, but also there's more variety.
Yep.
Because it is possible. You'd see that D20 dice and you're thinking there's no way that they'd roll the same thing back to back, but there is a way.
It happens.
It does.
It happens more often than what you think it would happen.
And then for our medium, at that time was a D6, so there's a 1 in 6 chance that we'll get it.
Right.
Odds are high.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I felt like we needed to include that about the 3-week challenge.
Definitely,
so,
it's really important.
Anyway, back to what you felt. How were you feeling as we were rolling these?
I was really excited, and I just had no idea how to do the warm color palette into the eye. I definitely wanted to do something unique, and not just a brown eye. So just tackling the design phase here. I did the eye, pupil, of course, and I knew that I wanted something that was kind of fiery with the eye. I wanted that warm tone to really shine through. And that's where I came up with the idea of a candlelight reflection within the pupil. I thought that it was really cool, and I thought that it had kind of an odd comfort to it, and that's where that's where I designed it. And this is where I came up with a lot of issues with my design. The candlelight itself, we talked a lot throughout the week. At first I had a bit of a glow with it, and what I actually ended up doing was finding a picture of a candle and holding it up to my eye, taking a picture kind of beyond that. It looked goofy, but it was for good reason. You find that it's actually very crispy
So
as a
would
reflection.
would you feel like you use that as part of your research
Definitely,
going into this?
Yeah, definitely.
Interesting. That's an interesting take on it to hold a candle up and take a selfie.
Thankfully, it was just a picture of a candle,
right?
And then selfie here, but it was hard to get the angle,
right?
Yeah, and it looked way different than what I already had. But learning from that, I should have taken my candlestick much further down. My candlestick should have been a lot more crispier in there. But that's another thing, is that it's almost like an illusion that you have to give to somebody to make that look like it's a reflection and not inside the eye.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I knew that I wanted to go with a really warm pupil, those tones, and I also really wanted skin texture, and I wanted this to look wet. I wanted the eyeball to look wet, which I really like. I really love the tear duct and just those white highlights I put in there.
Yep.
Yeah. How about you, Adam?
Well, I had to start off with a bit more research because, like I said, I mean, this is the first eyeball I've ever drawn, so I was really kind of lost. If we go back to how I was feeling when we were rolling, I wasn't feeling very optimistic. Just simply because it's, like I said, it's not something that I draw. It's not something I ever tried to draw. Just because the proportions, I always struggle with the proportions. So again, I wasn't very optimistic when we were rolling, but it was an interesting challenge, and I learned a vast amount from it. And so immediately I had to go into some research on, how was I going to do this? How was I going to attempt to do this?
Right.
Because I lack the knowledge that you had from just years of drawing them. So for me, I vastly messed this up.
Oh, I wouldn't say vastly. I definitely think that it's...
For the parameters of the challenge, I feel like now I vastly messed it up. In that, this is more of an abstract piece.
I see that. I can see that, but I can also see where it comes down to the other's perception. With me, also being an artist, if I was told, that you're going to look at this guy's drawing, he did a warm color palette, realism, I'd say, wow, that's super cool. This is a close-up of an eye. It looks like a picture that's taken at the eye doctor.
Right.
That's what I see.
Okay. I will grant you that.
Thanks. But to the everyday person,
I think it confused them. I think it really did. I think they understood what it was, but I think it confused them in correlation to what the challenge was asking.
I think there was a lot of why whenever they looked at it.
Right.
Why are there two eyeballs? Why is it a completely...
And I think maybe in hindsight, if I was to do this over again, I would make it one pupil and divide the two. So that way it's the same pupil. You're not looking at two separate pupils. You're looking at one, but as in two different views. And I think maybe I could have pulled that off as a realism, but I still feel like people would get confused by it. So the research that I did, like I said, it was more or less finding inspiration and what I wanted to try to pull off. And I found a couple different pieces that I was inspired by, and that's this is how I come up with that. And it kind of evolved. I had a different idea in the beginning, and that idea evolved and turned into something different, and that idea evolved and turned into this. And that's something that we talk about constantly is the evolution of our drawings. Just because it's what, just because it starts out as this, very rarely does it ever end up being that in the end. You know, I think that's part of the design phase, is the evolution of these pieces that we're doing.
Right.
Because you can start out designing something one way and then, man, it just takes a turn out to freaking left field somewhere.
Right. Yeah.
And
you
here
you
are.
that,
You're on this journey.
Idea. Yeah. You get that other idea.
And at a certain point, right, wrong, or indifferent, when you're going down a path, there is a certain point at which you can't return back from it, and you are full on committed to it.
Yeah.
Especially in a medium such as color pencil, because it's not very forgiving. You can get away with some mistakes. You can get away with a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but if
it's there, it's there.
It's pretty much there.
Yeah.
I mean, it just does not erase.
Exactly.
They got color pencil erasers out there, but I'm here to tell you, folks, they don't work the greatest. I mean, like I said,
yeah, they're mainly used for as a tool.
Yep, they're used as a tool.
Yeah, not even necessarily for errors, but to build texture, to use it as a tool in the art piece.
When you were designing yours, you said you struggled with, what did you
reflection.
The reflection. Designing mine, the struggles that I encountered, actually, I don't really want to talk about the struggles because I feel like struggles isn't the right word just yet.
Challenges.
Yeah, challenges. I was challenged quite a bit in that, again, just the lack of knowledge of drawing an eyeball. That was my whole challenge. That was challenge, struggle, whatever you want to call it. That was my whole deal, because they're tough to do.
They are. They absolutely. And then with colored pencil makes it, for me, so much more difficult.
When I was doing this up here, it took me forever to figure out how to pull depth off with a colored pencil.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of inconsistencies up here where I was trying different techniques to try to get depth. And as I figured it out, this down here really started just to come together. I mean, and that was, you can't really see it because I tried to hide it as much as I could, but that was struggle or challenge, whatever you want to call it, was trying to pull the depth off in here, because you really do want it to look like you're looking through a microscope.
Absolutely.
When you look through a microscope into an eyeball, it's
a different world. It is a different world.
It's not just flat.
Exactly. It's full of craters and branches, and so much is going on inside the eyeball whenever you get up close. So that in itself is really awesome that you were able to pull that off, the depth, the textures. It's an eye, Adam. It is so readable, and I think that's great.
Yeah. As far as things that I like about it, I'm here to tell you, overall, I love it. There is no like to it. I love it because it is my first it's my first eye that I've ever done, and it is far exceeds anything that I ever thought I could do with an eye. It's just, truly amazing that I was able to draw it, in my opinion.
Isn't that so good whenever you've made something and you're like, oh, holy crap.
Oh,
look what I did.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Look, Mom, I made it.
Look, I did it. It's awesome. I love it.
Right.
So, it's, to me, I love it, and I wouldn't change anything about it. And, if I was to do the whole challenge over again, I don't know that I would change anything about it.
See, I agree. I think it is what it's supposed to be.
Do I realize that I didn't meet the parameters of the challenge for most people?
Exactly.
I think I did.
For most people.
But that is art, and art is fickle.
Yeah.
And the fact that, art is in the eye of the beholder. So just because I like it doesn't mean you're going to like it. Just because you like it doesn't mean they're going to like it.
Exactly. And just because, the parameters say that, I look at yours and I see the parameters there. Other people, they just don't have that mindset of, what is this? Why is that there? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I went out on a limb, and
I think it was a great limb.
I did what I thought was what I thought was maybe not what I thought, because I think about halfway in I was looking at it, and I was kind of I was kind of doubting it. I was like, maybe I did, maybe I didn't. Hey, Wednesday would be the tell-all.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't change it.
I wouldn't change it either. I think it's so cool.
I mean, it's just like yours. The detail that you put in it, the skin textures that you put in it, the way it appears wet, the slight and little, the little bitty veins and stuff within the eye.
I like that part a lot.
There's so much that I love about yours. Just the depth of the eyelid. The way you pulled the depth of the eyelid off.
I really, if I did this again, I would change just about everything.
Really?
I really would. Yeah, the more that I look at it, I would change everything. I would change the shape of the eye. I would change everything around the eye. I would change not colors around the eye, but the shapes around the eye. I would change the eyelashes. I would change the size of the pupil. I would change the shape of the eyelids. I would change everything. I would change the reflection. Everything.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah, this is one that I would not mind revisiting and trying to tackle it again.
Well, that's number 2, ladies and gentlemen, that we said we'd like to revisit.
Yeah. And I'm, like I said, I'm not unhappy with it. I don't look at that and say, oh, that looks like trash. I do like it. And I do like how whenever it's in front of you, you get the sense that it is looking at you. Same with yours. It kind of follows you. I really like that about it. But I just don't like the structure of it as much as I wish I did.
Interesting. I just had an awesome idea.
What?
All right, hear this out, ladies and gentlemen. We get 20 drawings done.
Okay.
We throw the last 20 up on a sheet of paper, and we roll the D20, and we revisit that challenge.
That's a great idea. That is a great idea. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, the before and afters, because then we know what the trials are. We know what our challenges were with that.
Yeah.
And then being able to retackle that. I mean, there's no excuses. It should be a perfect execution, right?
Yeah, exactly. No, it's going to be horrible. Why is it going to be horrible? Because you're going to second guess everything you're doing. Everything you're doing, you're going to second guess it. But that is an awesome idea. I say when we get 20, we throw them up on a piece of paper.
Yep.
We let the dice speak what we redo.
Yep, the dice speak on which one we're gonna tackle next.
Heck yeah.
And revisit.
Yeah. Dislikes. Well,
I kind of tackled that a minute ago. You
tackled that, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, tackling it a little bit more. There's nothing that, like I said, there's nothing that I really dislike about it. It's just I would change it.
Okay.
I would change it.
I hear you.
Yeah.
So kind of like, okay, yeah.
Yeah. How about you?
Well, I already said it. I don't dislike a thing about mine.
Good.
Would I redo it compositionally? Probably.
Yeah.
Do I feel like it hit the parameters? I'll go 50-50. I just love it so freaking much is the problem. If this was an abstract challenge,
nailed, out of the park.
Yeah,
home run.
I mean, when we roll eyeball abstract color pencil, I'm done.
Here, I'm done.
Just sliding this from the front of the portfolio to the back of the portfolio, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
Because it's done. It's right there.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's going to happen. Well, I mean, it could happen, but I don't think that's going to be fair.
Right.
So,
just redraw it.
Yeah, just redraw it. Yeah. Go through all the misery of the hand cramps and putting in the black and
exactly.
Amazing.
I will say that something that I actually do really like about mine, and I wish I was able to incorporate it throughout the entire thing. I tried to, I just couldn't get it, as good as I got it. Is the skin texture just below my tear duct. I really, really like that. And from a distance, it reads really, really
It
well.
does.
A skin texture. And that is something that, you know, I'm learning with colored pencils, how to do the skin texture. And I mean, some of these people draw, and I'm like,
There's a lady on YouTube,
oh,
and I
yeah.
wish I had her name written down
Mm-hmm.
because what she can do with a colored pencil is phenomenal.
Wild.
Are you looking her up?
Yeah.
Man, I'm telling you what, I found her on YouTube and I sent it to Jordan. I'm like, you've got to see what this lady's doing with some colored pencil because it is truly, truly, truly amazing what she's able to pull off. And
This one, right?
Let's see here. Yes. Christy Partridge.
Art.
Phenomenal colored pencil artist.
I mean, just amazing. I've been watching her a lot these last few days.
If you are listening to this, I cannot give you the highest accommodations because what you're doing with colored pencil is truly amazing.
Truly, truly amazing. And she's such a good teacher. I've really enjoyed listening to her videos, just kind of in the background or with our art pieces in front of us. I've learned a lot from her and her techniques. So awesome.
You know, it's
Christy Partridge art.
I don't want to go too far off topic here, but what I'm learning is when we're doing these challenges and stuff, and you're out there searching for inspiration, and you're out there just searching for ideas, or maybe a different technique, or something, because it's almost constant.
Yeah.
It is amazing how many people out there just how many people are out there that are putting art up.
Oh my gosh, it's incredible.
And how freaking talented they are.
The stuff they are doing is insane.
Oh my gosh, it's crazy.
I see, imagine if Christy Partridge drew put me to shame.
Oh my god. Thing would be like,
I'd cry about it, you know?
I can touch it.
Right.
I can touch it, but it's flat. I can
be like,
touch
Rebecca,
it,
is that you? Oh, it's a drawing, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it is true. It's inspirational for one. It is
so inspirational, and it really gets me thirsty to learn more about this medium. And it's just so cool how other people do it. But bringing it back to this really quick, I really liked it, and like I said, I wouldn't, I wouldn't change my concept. I would just try to execute it a lot better.
Right.
Yeah, I still love it. I still really like it. But we are our own worst critics. So.
Yeah, but you learn from that too.
Right.
I mean, you really, truly do.
So on the topic of us learning from stuff, is there a challenge that you found during this that you felt like you had to conquer, like something more specifically in the drawing that we haven't mentioned yet?
Not really. Maybe eyelashes. Eyelashes are challenging.
Yeah.
Because an eyelash in real life, it's not flat.
Mm-hmm.
It's very thin. It's very narrow.
Different directions too.
They're different directions, but they're cylindrical. They're almost conical shaped in a way, because they're round at the bottom. They come to a point. So if you really truly want to add true depth and dimension and realism to it, you almost have to be able to show that shape throughout every single eyelash.
And it's like you have to do that shape without drawing a shape.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And, so challenge-wise, well, I kind of cheated because I only did half. And I struggled on the half that I did, so I can't imagine, having to do the whole eye. So, but yeah.
It was challenging. And at first, whenever I had them down, I just did shoop, 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 shoop. And I was like, why does that look bad?
It looks horrible, does it not?
It looks so bad. So I ended up looking at just eyelashes, and I was like, oh, they kind of double into one way.
Yeah, it's like they start out this way. It's like they start out, and then all of a sudden they're kind of going like this, and then kind of going like this, and then you got some that are going like this.
That, kind of overlap each other also.
Yeah.
That helps give it that cylindrical look. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. It was just interesting. Which I felt like before I had never had an issue drawing eyelashes, and I don't know why now.
But I think because now
I have a different view.
You have a different view.
Yeah, new POV changes everything.
It does. And I think, maybe the view that you have now versus then is now you're focusing more on a hyper realistic level.
Yeah, I agree. That I want that crispiness.
Right. I can honestly say that's something I've learned from when I was doing art before to now is, one, I've learned patience. Two, I have developed as a person overall, in that I have a general, I don't really know the word for it. Anyway, I have an appreciation for something that looks more realistic than something that doesn't look more realistic.
Yeah, because it's kind of trickery,
It is. It's tricky. Exactly. It's tricking the eye to thinking that is something real.
Yeah, exactly. And if you get up close and personal to these hyper realism drawings, you see everything that they did. You see everything, and you're like, wow.
And
that looks like it was drawn with pencil. But then you step back and you put it 5 feet away from you, you're like, holy crap. Yeah. It's a photo. Yeah. That's what I want to get to.
I've got a few of those that I've done periodically, and Jordan can tell you they're pretty trippy.
Awesome.
And eventually we'll get them put up. Maybe we'll throw them up in one of these podcasts or something, because they are honestly pretty wild. Just something I've just kind of played around with on the side.
Yeah.
Not specific to any one thing, but I don't know. You think you got any more to add about it?
I think we tackled most of it. It was a great challenge, and I'm really happy that we did it. And like I said, this is one that I would not mind coming back to and seeing the progression that I can make.
Maybe in 20 weeks, the D20 will speak.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
I really think we need to do that.
Yep,
I don't know. Why don't you all comment and tell us what you think?
Yeah, exactly.
In 20 weeks, when we have 20 drawings, do we throw it onto a list and roll for it and redo something?
Yeah, or if you guys have any other ideas, throw them down in the comments, and we would love to take those and make something with it and incorporate it into our Parlor number 13 Roll for Art Flash Challenges. By the way, you guys, if you want to get a closer look at these photos, check out our Facebook page, Parlor number 13. And, we post all of our photos on there, especially monthly recaps that we're going to be doing. And you can zoom in and really see what we're talking about here with the eyelashes or with the tear duct, and just pick apart. And if you didn't get a chance to vote that week, tell us who you would have voted for.
Absolutely, that's a good idea.
Yeah, tell us which one you really like, because we love the feedback, we love the interaction, and we don't want this to be like a take and everything from followers or this. We want to interact with you all. We want to reach. We want to, like we mentioned in our last podcast, like eventually, give back to our community somehow, whichever way we can figure it out. We're all still learning this, and we would love for you guys to be a part of this journey with us.
And that's, again, that's why commenting is important.
It really is.
Because we're going to take your all's feedback and we're going to run with it.
Absolutely. Yeah. We will incorporate it into everything.
Yeah.
Cool.
Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in to Talk Parlor number 13, where Jordan and I go head to head with our art creations, and we put it up for your all's vote.
You can check us out on our YouTube page. This is our main podcast platform, and other podcast platforms as well. Facebook Parlor number 13 and Instagram Parlor number 13. Eventually TikTok is in the works. We're kind of stacking up some videos for them. And we just hope to see you guys there. We can't wait to show you guys our next Roll for Art Flash Challenge. And we also can't wait to hear your vote.
Yeah. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment with your thoughts. Choose your favorite artwork. Keep the creativity flowing. Let your inspiration soar. And together we'll create, we inspire, and we'll transform art into a journey. See you at the next challenge and the next vote.
Yeah. And wherever you're at, whatever you're doing, be safe.